Hey everybody, it's Angelina with River of Life Coaching. I am a spiritual life coach and a master of social work, and on this channel we talk about a variety of different topics relating to life, philosophy, spirituality, and psychology, and things that have to do with what it means to be human and the different experiences we face throughout our life. If you find any of the contents in these videos to be helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, stay tuned for some courses and workshops that are currently in the works. And if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, I am open to seeing some coaching clients. And so without further ado, we are going to delve into our topic for the day, and that is regret. So, when you think of regret, what do you think of? What does that mean for you? For many of us, regret is the feelings of sadness and disappointments over things that have happened or things that haven't happened or some of the mistakes that we've made. It could be a feeling of remorse. It could be feeling loss, a lost opportunity or a missed opportunity. And today we're going to delve a lot more into the overall feeling of regret when it comes to relationships, particularly when we feel like we've missed out on a relationship that we wanted for us. Maybe that was because we didn't share how we felt about that person. Maybe we were in a place at that time in our life where we weren't really ready for a relationship. Maybe we feel like this was a situation where it was like the one that got away. There's a lot of different ways we can look at this, and we don't want to dwell in this. We don't want to condemn ourselves in this. We don't want to stew in self-pity or anything like that. But we do also want to take this into consideration. We do want to be honest with ourselves about any feelings of regret that we may have over missed opportunities in this, or things that didn't pan out the way we hoped they were, or things that we hoped would happen but didn't for one reason or another. Now, when we go through a situation, for example, of not sharing our feelings, our vulnerable feelings with somebody, maybe letting somebody know that we have romantic interest in them, maybe letting somebody know how we feel, maybe trying to be intimate and vulnerable with somebody, and maybe letting our defenses override and dictate our actions. When we're in those types of situations, it can touch on a lot of our fears and vulnerabilities. It can touch on some of our self-worth even if we're not careful, or if we're in a place where we're in a more vulnerable spot. It might make us think, what would happen if I did something different? What might have been? Excuse me. These questions are really designed to help us process what we're experiencing with honesty and perspective. These types of topics within the overall topic of regret are really designed just to help us gain some perspective on what is going on right now. It may be hard to answer these questions. We may not know the right answer. Maybe there is more than one answer. Maybe this is a matter of looking at things in multiple different ways and being open to different ways of looking at this and different perspectives and belief systems around this. So when we're talking about regret, let's think about, in particular, what we regret most about this situation. What do I regret most about not telling somebody how I feel? What do I regret most about not being vulnerable and honest? What emotions have arose when I thought about this person, whether now or whether in the past? What were some emotions that I was experiencing at the time when this was happening? Am I grieving anything? If I am grieving, is it the person? Is it the possibility of what things could have been? Or is it any unanswered questions? Are there any specific questions that are being left unanswered right now, and what are they? Does this represent anything to me? Does this regret mean anything in particular to me, and what exactly is that and why? Elaborate on that a little bit more. Really sit and think about that more. What was it that kept me from expressing my feelings at the time? What was it that kept me from being fully honest and vulnerable? What was I afraid of? Was I afraid of something happening, or was I afraid of losing somebody? Was I trying to protect myself from conflict or loss or rejection of any sort? Were there any fears that were influencing my decisions? Were there people around that I didn't want to know about this? Was there any information that I didn't have at the time that I know now? Are there lessons that I've learned and harvested through this situation? Am I judging myself and condemning myself for that mistake, for that experience, for doing whatever it was that we did? Do I have wisdom today that I can draw on? Has this taught me anything that has helped me today, or that can help me down the road, that I can share with another person maybe? If I could speak to my younger self today, what would I say to them? Would I be kind to them? Would I be compassionate? What kind of advice or insights or perspectives would I share with my younger self? What are some stories that I've created in my mind about what would have happened if I had said something or done something differently, if I had spoken up, if I had shared more vulnerably and honestly? Am I certain that whatever this imagined outcome was, would it have actually occurred? Whatever this imagined outcome is that I have in my mind, am I certain that that would actually happen? Are there any certainties with this? Am I idealizing this relationship, this person, this situation? Am I putting it more on a pedestal than it really deserves? What is it that's really making me regret this? What is it I really want out of this situation, out of this person, this relationship, this scenario? What am I really hoping would have happened? Are there any evidences to support my assumptions? Are there any evidences that challenge them? What am I hoping could have been different, and why? What do I really think would have helped me if things were different? What do I really think would have happened if things were different? Is there anything that I still can control in this situation? Is there anything that I can do differently moving forward? If nothing changes, what would acceptance look like for me? What would that feel like? How would I be? How would I show up if I was more accepting and peaceful about the situation? What are the things that are actually the hardest to let go of, and why? Really think about this. Really elaborate on this. Really get clear about this. Really, really, really think about what it is that you're having a hard time to let go of. Is it a fantasy? Is it a lost hope? Is it thinking that nothing better is on its way? Is it thinking that this is the only option there for me? Do I feel like I'm missing out on something? Relationships and love can be a very powerful thing. And regret around relationships and love can be really painful. And it can really touch on every wound we have, every fear and every vulnerability we have. And so we should allow ourselves the grace and the patience to grieve this, to process this, to explore this, to sit with this, to face this, however painful as it may be, however ugly it may be, however difficult it may be. Give yourself the chance to really just experience the richness of this experience. This is a part of the human experience. Almost every human being goes through something like this at one point in their life. And it is so hard. And sometimes knowing that another person is going through the same thing or has gone through the same thing, it doesn't always take away the sting of this situation. But it does help us to remember that we are human and that we are all experiencing a full and rich life. And we can give ourselves space to make these mistakes, to experience these things, to live with them, to move forward with them, to accept them, as hard as they can be. Think of this from a growth-minded standpoint. What is this teaching me? Has my life gotten better in any way as a result of this not happening the way I had originally wanted it to happen? Can I honor what I'm feeling without remaining stuck in the past? What would it mean to be at peace with the uncertainty of not knowing how it would have unfolded? What has this experience taught me about myself or about being vulnerable, about relationships? How do I want to handle similar situations in the future? What can I really do? What is in my control and what is not in my control? What kind of qualities do I want to bring into my future relationships and why? How can I cultivate those qualities and how can I cultivate those traits? How has this experience clarified what I want in a partner or in a friendship or in a relationship or in other situations and groups and communities that I'm part of? Am I being invited to really cultivate courage within myself and bravery? Does this regret affect my self-worth and the way I see myself in any way? Am I interpreting myself in a certain way because of what I didn't know in the past that I may know now? Am I interpreting the situation as a reflection on who I am as a person and what I deserve and what I need? Does this make me worthy of love or unworthy of love? Does it affect my worthiness of love in any way? Can I strengthen myself from this situation? Can I regain my confidence and my self-trust in myself? Can I choose self-respect moving forward? What would self-respect look like for me? There's a lot of different things that we can ask ourselves about this, and this is only touching the surface, scratching the surface of this. Think about what this experience is teaching you about trusting in yourself, in God, in the divine, in life, in people, in relationships. How can you surrender what you cannot change? Can you change the past? Can you revise the past? Some people believe that there is a way to revise the past. There are different types of techniques some people use, called revision techniques. Whether they work or not, I cannot speak on. Maybe it would be something that would be helpful to look into. Maybe it would be harmful. Use your own discernment on these types of spiritual practices and really ask what you're hoping to get out of it and why, and what is your real motive behind moving forward with this. What is it you're hoping for? What is it that you are attached to? Where can you find peace even without the closure? Is there a closure that you can get from this that may not necessarily be the kind of closure that you were looking for, that you thought closure would be? Can this regret become part of your growth and your development rather than a burden and a pain that you carry with you and a shame that you carry with you? Can you remain open to new relationships, to new love, to new experiences, to new communities, to new groups, to new friendships, to new conversations, to new vulnerabilities? Can you really, 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 really take all of this and learn from it? And what I want to leave you with is, are you grieving the person or the version of yourself you wish you had been? What would it mean to forgive yourself from acting from fear or uncertainty? How has this experience shaped the person you've become? If this regret became wisdom, what wisdom would it offer? How can you carry the lesson forward without carrying the weight of this burden of this regret forever? And what does it mean to live in a way that leaves fewer important things unsaid? How can you truly say what you mean to say? One of the hardest parts of these types of regrets is that there may never be the certainty about what would have happened. We may never know what that would be, and that can be really hard to sit with. But uncertainty doesn't necessarily mean that it is a life sentence. It doesn't have to be a life sentence. We don't have to carry the weight of this and the shackles of this forever. Experiences are an invitation for us to live fully, with courage, with bravery, with grace, with mistakes, with our humanness, good, bad, and everything in between, whatever we believe that to be. We can express appreciation for what we do have in the relationships that are going well in our life and the ones that may not be here yet but are yet to come. We can learn to communicate more honestly with others. We can learn to take healthier emotional risks with others moving forward, with the people who matter to us, and can be honest with them. One of the lasting gifts of regret may be that we become a newer version of ourselves in the future when we really sit with this and process this and ask these kinds of questions. We can become someone who is more whole, more wholehearted, more authentic, And it may not require an answer of what would have happened. It may just require us to really step into these lessons and these truths. Have a good day.